The movie begins on a Chinese island in 2008, and we see a man named Bo sitting in a restaurant, eating ravenously. The restaurant owner comes over, places a suitcase next to him and says, "Long time no see, Bo. It's been a year since I last saw you." Bo explains to her that he travels a lot and has been going around the world recently, but he feels bored because he's always alone. He's currently on the island for a vacation and will be leaving again soon. He then goes and stands in front of a specific grave, looking sad and paying his respects. He gathers himself and leaves. When night falls, we see him watching a temple in the middle of the forest, where a criminal and major drug dealer named Sherman lives. Sherman is surprised to find Bo in front of him, and his guards have completely disappeared. Sherman prepares his spear and goes out to face him. At that moment, Bo is holding the suitcase and throws it in front of him angrily. Sherman attacks him with incredible speed, but the surprise is that Bo is a top-tier martial artist. He is able to block all of the criminal's strikes, one after another, with ease. Even though Sherman is enraged and tries to kill him multiple times, Bo focuses on his leg and delivers a powerful blow that brings him down. He picks up the spear and decides to cut off his head and take it with him. Sherman's wife, named Saki, keeps calling him, but of course, he doesn't answer. So the next day, she decides to send Sherman's men from the criminal underworld, led by Mr. Wing, to see what happened to him and why he isn't answering the phone. As for our hero Bo, he goes looking for a restaurant to eat at because he's hungry. However, most restaurants are closed because a storm is coming and everyone is afraid. While he's walking, he sees a girl standing on a tree, trying to get her cat down. She suddenly loses her balance and is about to fall to the ground. Bo catches her at the very last moment and saves her from impact. She's so scared that she tears his jacket even more than it already was. To make it up to him, she takes him to her house and gives him a needle and thread to sew the jacket. There, Bo learns that this girl's name is Holly, and she works as a police officer on the island. When she picks up his bag, she finds it's very heavy and asks him about it. He tells her he has a bowling ball in it, nothing more. When she asks him why, he explains that he's a bowling coach. So she drops the subject and decides to take him and treat him to a meal after what he did for her. They go to the only restaurant open during the storm, and the owner welcomes them and immediately starts preparing their food. But before they can eat, they hear the news reporting that a group of boats was stolen today. The marine police couldn't determine their location or who stole them, but they speculate that 3 people from outside the island did it. Holly looks behind her and sees 3 dangerous-looking men eating. Deciding it's her duty, she gets up, flashes her police badge, and asks each of them to show their ID. But their leader tells her, "I'm eating noodles right now. I can't show you anything." When she repeats her request multiple times, the huge man with him grabs her by the neck. As soon as the restaurant owner sees this, he immediately runs away in fear. This is when Bo decides to intervene. He gets up and hits the man to make him release Holly. The man fights him with fierce brutality. Although Bo is very skilled, this man is literally a giant and difficult to control. Meanwhile, Holly tries to hit the leader, but the third man trips her and breaks a table over her. As for Bo, he stands on a table and tries to hit the giant again and again, but it's useless. The giant even throws him in the air and hits him, but still, he's unaffected. So Bo decides to target his legs, delivering a powerful blow until he finally brings him down and then chokes him with all his might. Bo runs to help Holly and hits the thug holding her, but the giant doesn't let go of Bo. He runs and knocks him down, pressing on his head in a horrifying way. Bo tries to escape and fakes a strike. When the giant grabs him again, he delivers another powerful blow that brings him back down to the ground. By now, the leader had finished his noodles and decided to join the fight. He fights Bo, who was already in the zone, and Bo starts landing blows on him too, just like his men. Despite the leader's efforts, Bo wrecks him all over the restaurant, literally making him throw up his noodles. At that moment, the restaurant owner returns with 2 police officers. He had gone to put on a karate uniform to handle the situation, but he finds the restaurant completely destroyed. Holly asks Bo to come with her to the station to give a statement about what happened. Meanwhile, Wing and his men arrive at Sherman's temple. They are, of course, shocked to see the 4 guards tied up, and poor Sherman sitting on the couch without a head. Back at the station, Bo signs his statement, and everyone thanks him, especially the commissioner, who tells everyone that those 3 gang members are wanted everywhere and have pulled off multiple heists, with no one able to catch them. When he praises Holly for succeeding in such a big case, she assures him that she was only able to do it because Bo was with her. As for Wing, he unties the 4 guards and asks them about Sherman's head. When he finds out from them that the person who hit them was very fast, and all they remember is that he was wearing a jacket and carrying a suitcase, they decide to go look for Sherman's head. Otherwise, his wife will take revenge on all of them. Back at the station, the commissioner offers tea to Holly and Bo, but Officer Tai doesn't like this because he has a crush on Holly. He starts asking illogical questions. How could Bo, who has only been on the island for 2 days, have destroyed dangerous gang members like that? He suspects that Bo must be hiding something and warns Holly about him, but she doesn't care and takes Bo so they can all have lunch. Wing and his men start searching the hotels for the man with the bag who cut off their leader's head and took it with him. And no one, my friend, expected him to be at the police station. There, we see a light bulb malfunctions. Ty decides to fix it himself to get Holly's attention, but unfortunately, he gets electrocuted and is about to die. Bo gives him a powerful kick that instantly pushes him away, and then he goes up and fixes it himself with ease. Of course, Ty gets even more upset. He throws a cup of tea in Bo's face, especially since he can't arrest him even though he hit him. Afterward, Ty goes to take a shower at the station while Holly sews his jacket properly. Just as they all sit down to eat, they are surprised by the way Bo eats. He eats extremely fast and has essentially finished his meal and is moving on to theirs. But they tell him the cook isn't here and there won't be any more food after this. So Bo opens the fridge, takes some eggs and vegetables, and starts cooking with remarkable skill, preparing more food for them to replace what he finished. But as soon as Ty takes a bite, he almost dies because the food was incredibly spicy. The commissioner tastes it and finds the food good and the spicing pleasant, even though it's hot. From their conversation, Bo learns that Holly's mother moved to Canada with her new husband, but Holly decided to stay here and be a police officer on the island, serving justice. After the meal, the commissioner makes a few phone calls to find a suitable place for Bo to spend his vacation. Suddenly, Ty comes down carrying a cake, and it turns out it's Holly's birthday. Everyone starts celebrating with her. It becomes apparent that Bo feels very much like an outsider, but he doesn't say anything and celebrates with them. After they finish, Bo and Holly go to wash the dishes. Bo tells her, "Be careful, you could have died today." But he finds that she's not afraid, and he senses that her sense of justice is very strong. She asks him, "What age is the elephant from that's on your necklace?" Bo explains to her that it's a wolf's tooth, and he treasures it because he believes wolves are guardians of souls. When she makes fun of him, he says, "How about I teach you a few moves to defend yourself better?" They go to an empty area. Holly keeps making random, clumsy moves, so Bo grabs her by the neck and teaches her a simple way to escape that hold. But she tricks him and tries another move on him. Eventually, Ty sees them and rushes over to separate them quickly, saying, "Do you think this station is a shelter or something? Come on, get out of here. We have work to do and don't have time for you." He takes Holly with him because there's a noise complaint from an elderly woman. Bo then goes to get his mysterious suitcase, preparing to leave. The commissioner gives him a paper with addresses of places he can stay. Wing and his men have turned the whole city upside down. They finally find a man walking with a suitcase and grab him immediately, but they find the suitcase only contains clothes, so they let him go. Meanwhile, Ty and Holly arrive at the elderly woman's house. She looks at them from the balcony and says, "There are dogs barking near the house and she can't sleep." Ty calms her down a bit, and they go to check out the situation, especially since Holly says dogs only bark when they see strangers. As they are walking, they see Sherman's temple. Holly enters the place to inspect it. She eventually finds 5 thugs standing with Sherman's body behind them. She calls Ty, who immediately enters and asks them why they are there. They reply that they are just taking shelter from the rain, but Holly notices they are hiding something behind them. She orders them to move aside before she draws her weapon, and they comply. She goes to uncover the body on the ground and is shocked and screams when she sees it's headless. Before she can report it, the men attack her and Ty with fierce brutality, but suddenly, Bo appears behind them, quickly hits 2 of the men, and runs off. Ty catches a glimpse of him, but Bo escapes quickly. Wing and the rest of his men see him from a distance, but they can't run after him because the police are there. So they call their boss, Sasaki, to tell her that things are not good now because the police will also be taking her husband Sherman's body to the station. Of course, she yells at Wing and orders him to get the body out of the station no matter what it costs. Meanwhile, we see 2 thugs chasing Bo through several alleys. He eventually appears before them, completely unfazed. As soon as one of them tries to attack him, Bo instantly strikes him down and then lands quick blows on the second, dropping him to the ground next to his companion. He picks up his bag and leaves. Back at the police station, Ty is extremely agitated, especially since he saw Bo at the temple, and feels he must be involved in Sherman's case, especially after seeing his strong fighting skills. Suddenly, 3 of Wing's men arrive, yelling and causing chaos. Then 2 more come from behind and throw gasoline canisters at the commissioner and another officer, threatening to set everyone on fire if anyone moves. The commissioner orders everyone to drop their weapons because if they fire a single shot, They'll kill him. The men enter to carry Sherman's body to take it and leave peacefully. But Holly signals with her eyes to another officer, and at the right moment, she goes for her weapon, and her colleague immediately shoots the thugs. Chaos erupts in the station because no one can risk shooting near the gasoline. The commissioner wraps his hand with a scarf, grabs a weapon to threaten everyone, and finally manages to control the situation. But unfortunately, the brave officer is shot in the stomach and sadly dies. At that moment, a delegation from the Marine Police arrives at the station immediately. The inspector talks to everyone and tells them that Sherman was a drug dealer and the head of a dangerous criminal organization, wanted for arrest by international authorities. Now someone has killed him and taken his head, and they need to find out who. Meanwhile, Bo is on his way to the port. He hears on the news about the death of a police officer at the station a while ago, and he sees Marine police officers deployed all over the island. He immediately goes up to the roof of a building in front of him to try and escape them, especially since they are running after a suspect and chasing him fiercely. The inspector tells Holly and the others that Sasaki, Sherman's wife, is now heading the criminal organization in his absence, but they have no evidence against her and can't do anything to her. By now, Bo has reached the port with complete composure. Although they are searching all the bags, for some reason, they don't search his, and he passes through. The inspector demands that everyone search for Sherman's killer as quickly as possible. Ty tells him about his suspicions and gives him Bo's description. Immediately, the inspector sends this description to all his men. They catch up to Bo before he can escape and order him to stop immediately. When the inspector finds out, he takes all his men and heads to the port immediately. As soon as they arrive, the inspector asks Bo to open the strange suitcase he has. Bo tosses it towards him, looking completely unconcerned. Holly approaches to open the suitcase, afraid that their suspicions might be correct and that Bo really is the killer. But as soon as she opens the suitcase, she finds a bowling ball inside, just like he told her before. She closes the suitcase and hands it back to Bo so he can leave in peace. However, she goes after him at the last moment, apologizes for what happened, takes his phone, and calls her own number so she can keep in touch and check on him. He says goodbye to her and gets on the boat. The two of them seem to have taken a liking to each other, but as soon as the boat moves, we notice that Wing is on board, watching Bo from a distance. When Sasaki calls him, he assures her that he's watching the killer and will catch him at the first opportunity. But he is shocked when Bo puts the suitcase on his lap, takes the phone, and answers Sasaki himself, confirming to her that they'll arrive in half an hour. She gives him 1 day to return her husband's head and leave the island for good, but he mocks her and hangs up on her. Of course, Wing is sitting there terrified, afraid the suitcase is heavy and might actually contain the boss's head. Bo frightens him even more, telling him that one never knows if they'll live to see the next day, and assures him that everything will become clear in the end. As they approach the dock, Bo notices a large number of Wing's men waiting for them. He leaves Wing tied up in the bathroom and immediately escapes. He jumps into the first taxi he finds and disappears instantly. At that moment, Holly gets a call at the station. They tell her that they have confirmed Bo killed Sherman. It turns out Bo was hit by a car while crossing in front of the police. The suitcase opened, and Sherman's head was visible inside the bowling ball, but he quickly put it back in the suitcase and ran off. Holly looks at her phone and remembers she got Bo's number, but she hesitates to call him. As for Bo, he returns to the same restaurant he ate at in the beginning. The owner learns from him that his vacation is over and he'll be leaving the island again. Meanwhile, Holly is walking down the street, still looking hesitantly at Bo's number. Suddenly, 2 men attack her, sedate her, and kidnap her immediately. Bo's phone rings with Holly's number. He learns that Saki has kidnapped her and is holding her suspended in a specific location, demanding that he come to save her. Holly is very angry and assures Saki that she will arrest her, whether now or later. When Saki asks her if she will arrest Bo for killing her husband and cutting off his head, Holly firmly tells her she will arrest anyone who breaks the law, no matter who they are. Suddenly, through the rain, Bo appears walking in the distance. The surprise is that Saki has prepared 100 men for him, standing in 2 rows, ready to fight him. He walks through them with complete composure, as if no one is there. But suddenly, the fierce battle begins, and the 100 men attack him all at once. And here, my friend, a very intense fight ensues. Bo starts attacking them with extreme ferocity, breaking anyone who stands in his way. Despite their overwhelming numbers, anyone who takes a hit goes down and doesn't get back up, especially since Bo has activated destruction mode and is now breaking and sweeping away anyone who gets near him. All of this while he's trying to reach Holly to free her first. But the men won't let him and chase him with fierce brutality. But this plays into his favor, as it neutralizes their numerical advantage. However, he falls to the ground and shows signs of severe exhaustion, but Holly keeps encouraging him, telling him to get up and fight before they attack and kill him. And indeed, despite the exhaustion and pain, Bo gets up and continues fighting them. The battle of the 100 men against a professional martial artist rages on. He endures terrible pain until he eliminates them all. With only one left, he musters his strength and lands a few serious blows on him, dropping him next to his comrades. Only then does Sasaki decide to come down with her deadly sword, determined to end his life and avenge her husband Sherman's death. She wanted to cut off his head, just like he did to Sherman, but Bo dodges the strike at the last moment and grabs the sword from her. On the other side, Holly is trying every way to free herself, but the situation is very difficult. She's bleeding until she finally falls to the ground, but in the end, she frees herself. She comes down to face Saki, who is holding a sword, but one of the men grabs Holly's leg, trying to kill her. This is when our legendary hero sacrifices himself. He steps in and takes the sword strike meant for her. At that moment, Holly goes crazy with rage. She hits Saki with a blow that knocks her unconscious and runs to Bo, collapsing in tears after everything he did for her. Bo confesses to her then that yesterday was the happiest day of his life. It's revealed that his birthday is the same day as Holly's, which was why he was surprised when the officers started celebrating with her. He remembers all his brief moments with her as he grows sad, and then passes away as Holly completely breaks down. Anyway, after a while, Holly narrates that no one knew why Bo cut off Sherman's head. Some people said it was for revenge. Eventually, she discovered that a year ago, Sherman kidnapped a nurse, assaulted her, and killed her in a very brutal way. Indeed, we see that the grave Bo stood at in the beginning was the nurse's grave. It's certain, my friend, that she was close to him or had a relationship with him, which is why he took such harsh revenge on Sherman. We learned that Bo was avenging the nurse against Sherman, and the movie ends.